Did you know that Zambia tried to go to Mars? Hello and welcome to About Africa. In this video, we take a look at when Zambia tried to go to Mars. In October 1964, as Zambia celebrated its status as a newly independent country, a school teacher was working on a project to make Zambia the first country to send a human to the moon. At the time, the space race of the 1950s and 60s involved two major players, the United States and the Soviet Union. But there was also minor players, for instance, Zambia. Edward Makuka Nkoloso of Zambia had dreams to land Zambians on Moon and Mars, beating the US and USSR in the space race. Edward Nkoloso was a member of the Zambian resistance movement and the founder of the Zambian National Academy of Science, Space Research and Philosophy. Born in 1919 in the then Northern Rhodesia, Nkoloso received a missionary education, got drafted in the World War II by the British, took an interest in science during his service and came home to found his own school. Edward Makuka Nkoloso was a primary school teacher who, after being inspired by his first experience in a plane, set up the Zambian National Academy of Science, Space Research and Philosophy in 1960. He recruited a group of young Zambians as cadets to complete a training program getting up for the space mission. This was an unusual boast to say the least. At the time, Zambia's population numbered 3.6 million people, with barely 1,500 African-born high school graduates and less than 100 college graduates. Nkoloso himself was a grade school science teacher and self-appointed director of the country's unofficial National Academy of Science, Space Research and Philosophy. To train the astronauts, a name that Nkoloso coined himself, he set up a makeshift facility on an abandoned farm outside Lusaka. The trainees would be rolled down a rough hill in a 200-liter oil drum. This, according to Nkoloso, would train the men in the feeling of weightlessness in space travel. In addition, they used a tire swing to simulate weightlessness. He also taught them how to walk on their hands, as was the only way humans could walk on the moon, according to him. The rocket to be used, named D-Kalu-1, was a 3-meter by 2-meter drum-shaped vessel made of aluminum and copper using a catapult-inspired firing system. The rocket would send the Zambians, including a 17-year-old African girl and a cat, to Mars. He figured he could get them to the moon by 1965. He claimed the rocket was space-worthy. Stated goals of the program were to establish a Christian ministry to primitive Martians and the hope of Zambia becoming the controllers of the interstellar space. However, he reportedly instructed the missionary in the space program not to force Christianity onto the native Martian inhabitants. In a newspaper editorial, Nkoloso claimed to have studied Mars for some time from telescopes at his secret headquarters outside Lusaka and announced that the planet was populated by primitive natives. To secure the funding required for the space mission, Nkoloso wrote letters to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization (UNESCO), Israel, the United States and the United Arab Republic. His requests for financial support were declined, yet Nkoloso remained optimistic about his mission coming to fruition. However, the lack of funds was not the only hindrance. The pregnancy of the girl astronaut Martha Mwambwa and her subsequently leaving the program to return to her parents and problems with morale due to the media attention led to failure of the program. In fact, he said he could have achieved the conquest of Mars in a mere few days after Zambia's independence had UNESCO come through with the funding. He also called the detention of Russian and American spies trying to steal his space secrets and his cuts. With regard to what became of Nkoloso after his failed space project, he was named a special representative of Zambia's President Kenneth Kaunda at the African Liberation Headquarters, which was a hub for members of freedom movements from Mozambique, South Africa, Zimbabwe and Angola. Towards the end of his life, he worked on the Copper Belt region of Zambia. He died on March 1989 and was buried with presidential honors. Nkoloso astronauts never got to Mars or the moon or even out of Lusaka. The Zambian government carefully distanced themselves from his endeavor. But while Nkoloso may have been a bit crazy, he had clearly zeroed in on the future. Space travel was going to be a big deal, and he wanted Zambia to be a part of it. What are your thoughts on Zambia's space program? Let us know in the comment section. Thanks for watching.